having a community will be one of the most important things in my life as I grow. I have never spent time somewhere with as tight a community as I've experienced on this trip, and I may never again unless I strive to build that community around myself.
For service on my GSL trip, we built a bathroom, a trash incinerator, and then we spent the rest of our time doing kind of a cultural presentation because a lot of the Tibetan culture was kind of being lost as the new generation was starting to take over, with technology and all those sorts of things. So our job was to kind of learn about the traditions and the values that the community that we stayed with had, and then put that in a presentation and a booklet for other people and the generations to come to learn about. I really didn't know very much about the Tibetan culture. Learning about that and learning about the traditions that they had and all the different types of people there were out there, it just kind of opened my eyes. There are so many different types of people out here. They're not just you're not just Indian or just Chinese. You have a separate identity within that general identity, and I kind of learned more about that.
I got to Ecuador and I was very nervous because it was a long trip for me to have no communication with my family. And I get there and I meet my host family and they're immediately warm and welcoming. I helped to milk the cows the first day. My Spanish wasn't very good, so we communicated by me kind of miming. During the course of the trip, I got very close with my host mother and my host brothers, and we all bonded as a GSL trip and as part of the community because it helped us see what they do on a day-to-day basis, which I thought was amazing because we were people from a completely different perspective in a different place in the world, and they were so welcoming and sweet. By the end of the trip, I was really sad to leave. It was a wonderful opportunity, and if anyone is considering GSL, I highly recommend it. You have amazing experiences that you will never get here, and you will learn a lot.
My time in Fiji has taught me to value my family more, seeing as how the connections that I've seen in Fijian families are so strong. They can always rely on their family, and I want to bring that back to American families.
Fiji taught me that there's a lot more to countries than tourist destinations. When you think of Fiji, you think of the beaches. But when I think of Fiji, I think of the highlands and all the beautiful people. Everyone here is the nicest people I've ever met.
So on the first week we did farm work, and then on the second week we installed solar light systems into houses of people in the village, and then on the third week we built solar ovens and stoves out of mud and bricks. And then in the last week we were able to use our technological skills to create videos that will help the organization that we were working with promote themselves to English speakers.
Thailand was an incredible experience. Like, it was just like one of the best times ever.
We built bathrooms. We weren't using like man-made materials. We got it directly from the earth, and we used bamboo that was directly from the village. We helped to carry down a mountain, and we saw people chop it down, and then immediately we used it for the bathrooms.
In the mornings, we went to service. So that usually entailed either going to the nature reserve and working with plants, sometimes weeding, or we went to a daycare. And so we would work with little, 5-year-olds to, I think, 10-year-olds. Or we went to an elementary school where we would volunteer, we made drawings to help decorate the classroom, we read to kids, and their favorite thing was playing with them.
We stayed in one village, pretty large village called Karatu, and we went every day to a school there. We worked on a tablet program called TabLab, and we built a few tables. We went out into the community and did interviews about environmental issues, and we learned a little bit of Swahili along the way.
One of my favorite things that we did on GSL was we would all go over to someone's house and we just hang out, and it was a great time to just be with friends without having to worry about other things in your life.
Hi, my name is Jasmine.
Our community, our neighbor, our relative is so strong because we don't, like I said, we don't rely on the money. We rely on our blood, our neighbor.
I'm Alicia, and I'm hosting Auntie. As the first time she came here, I was we were a bit shy because we don't know how we're gonna treat her. And but as the days goes by, I included her as one of my sister, and she's the great sister I ever been. Tipa la cuma kau na maka kai tapu ni. Tare tipa mana maka kau tamas buku. Maya, na. Tare tiya mak pucha tiya uta. Tipa mana mak puka macu bicara. Tipa la lek putu uta. Tare tuma tiya tipa le mak kuah mana portu mas buku putu. So teacher
I think that GSL has turned me into a braver person overall, because when you're on GSL, there are so many situations where you have to communicate with your host family. So I had to be bold, and like now at home, I'm more comfortable like stepping out of my comfort zone and just going for it instead of holding back.
GSL is GSL, and it's an experience that the leaders do a really good job of carrying over anywhere you visit in the world.
Definitely go for it. I mean, a lot of concerns I've heard from my peers about why they might not want to go in GSL is because it takes up like around a third of your summer, and that time can be spent like doing things that are seen as more productive. But honestly, I feel like this type of experience is productive in a whole nother way, and in a way that is a lot more unique and more effective, because you're probably like, chances are you're not going to get an experience like this for a long time, if not the rest of your life. So definitely make the most of it, and especially in a time that's as pivotal as the high school period. I think this kind of experience can really change you and how you act for the years forward.
GSL like meant a lot of happiness for me. I think that month was like one of the best months of my life. I was just like so happy all throughout that month.
Once you're there and once you get to fully experience the like GSL experience and all the things they've planned for you, like you're not going to regret it. And once you've reached the end of your trip, you're just going to feel like you're just going to wish that you weren't leaving so soon.
Even though there were a lot of differences in the language barrier and all of that, they had so much to teach us about what it means to be just a good person and a good friend.
This is GSL.
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 This is GSL.